When LeBron James decides he's retiring, it is coming with trumpets blaring, Adam Silver by his side, and he is going on a state-by-state, coast-to-coast tour so that everyone can acknowledge how great he was and give him a parting gift and thank him for his amazing contributions to the NBA.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The future of the prediction markets, I think, at least for now, may be in the hands of the federal courts. But the good news for those who support prediction markets is that these court battles may last for another 2 to 3 years before we get clarity around the law. And nominee Seelig was handpicked by Donald Trump, not because he was neutral on prediction markets, but because he would do nothing to slow it down.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
Welcome into hour number 2 right here on the early line, the SportsGrid Network, ready to rock and roll. It's Donnie Rightside and it's Joe Ranieri, and we got a lot of hot topics to get to, no doubt about it. The energy is high. These are the days that we love, Joe, because we were without the people on Thursday and Friday for the early line. So much happened on that Thursday and Friday, a ton on Saturday, and even more happened on Sunday. Monday Night Football game tonight, championship weekend on the horizon, a very important television show for tomorrow night to set the stage for, can Miami get in? Is Notre Dame going to get in? Who's going to get left out? So a lot of stuff that we have to go over in the show to get the people set up for this week, Joe, and we're ready to deliver.
I am, and they're still firing coaches, too, in college football. I believe Stoops is out now at Kentucky as well. So they just can't figure it out, college football. It's just, here we go. It's the carousel, and it is absolutely fantastic, Donnie.
And by the way, Stoops says, no way I'm walking away from this job. Yeah, we'll help you with that. You're out of here. You're fired. So now you can walk away from this job here. Feels like Stoops was there for like 25 years, just never could get Kentucky quite over the hump. Before we get to the early lineup, Joe, if you remember the big game, 12 o'clock start there on Saturday, 27-9 final. The Ohio State Buckeyes finally with a victory over Michigan. They paid a lot of money for Bryce Underwood to throw 18 passes for 63 yards and an interception. But here's Ryan Day talking about how that game went.
It was a great moment for our players. They deserve it. They worked hard. I thought they played really well and strong and physical in this game. And I'm happy for our coaches. But again, like I said, the fans even who weren't here, they'll be able to wear that Bucko and, stay a little prouder. And so that means a lot to me, means a lot to the coaching staff, to the players and my family. I've thought, as you can imagine, over the years, after winning this game, what I'd say in this press conference, and I'm going to save all those comments because I think the best thing to do is win with humility, and that's what we're going to do. And I think that's it speaks to our program. It speaks to what it means to be a Buckeye, and we wanted to take this rivalry game back this year. Just tremendous. I mean, if you really know how much work they put in to get on the field and how gutsy they are, and I'm sure the fans and everybody would just appreciate what they did and going out there and putting it on the line. And then how about the defense, just the physicality of the line of scrimmage, running from sideline to sideline, making plays. It was just great. They had a great look in their eye. I don't think there was any doubt when we walked into the stadium what was going to happen.
crazy. Ryan Day probably gets fired.
Yep.
He loses that game. Not being facetious, but my goodness, you can't win national championships and not beat Michigan. Now they beat Michigan with a chance to win a national championship off of a national championship. He has to feel good about finally beating Michigan.
And now he's got to play a meaningless game in a Big Ten championship, Donnie, where if I'm him, I'm running the same 4 plays the entire game, and I don't care. You are getting nothing from us because it doesn't matter. And that's the other problem, right? This game means way more to Indiana than it does Ohio State. And Ryan Day is the kind of guy, that he ain't going to show you anything because he knows the games that matter are after the Big Ten championship.
Isn't it crazy? Like, because again, they do want to win the big championship. It does mean something, but Joe is right. Like, it is an absolutely meaningless game where let's just say you play this and Mendoza hurts his knee. Julian, like, we're not wishing this, but you know what I mean? Like, hey, they lost in the Big Ten championship. Well, you're automatically in the college football playoff. Like, this should be almost like a bye week. It's just a byproduct of conferences want to make extra money. Now it's actually a meaningless game. And it used to actually hurt them because the loser would be undefeated, not even make the 4-team college football playoff or the BCS. So it's coming full circle now at this point. Let's get to the early lineup, which does deal with Lane Kiffin on his way to LSU with a lot more money in his back pocket, but a lot of controversy, Joe, leaving Ole Miss.
Yeah, well, it was the way he did it. And of course, Donnie, we had said it last hour. And we all need villains in sports. And there is no bigger villain right now than Lane Kiffin for what he did, how he did it, how it all worked out. And the idea that he basically, on the way out the door, poached all of the offensive coaches in there that he needed to Baton Rouge. I mean, it's classic. But you know what? Ole Miss, you're right, Donnie. Should have saw it coming. Don't know what to tell you, man. $100 million. And LSU and all the resources in the world, that would have been enough to get me out the door as well.
Yeah, pretty incredible stuff here, but money is always going to win out. And also, it used to be like, they used to tell you, well, you pick the school, not the coach when you go there. Before you could transfer and absolutely you had to sit out, like you couldn't go anywhere. But now, hey, look, Lane's leaving. That's so unfair. You know what's going to happen to Ole Miss? Their players going to hit the transfer portal, get more money in NIL from other schools there, and everybody wins. Loses, Ole Miss and their fans lose big time at this point right here. Josh Allen, he's not losing at all, particularly yesterday, 26-7 final. They beat the Steelers. They grounded and pounded for 51 carries. Not all those 51 carries were from Josh Allen, but he did score a touchdown, now the most in NFL history for a quarterback. 76 of them, man. The dude is a freak.
Yeah, breaks Cam Newton's record. Very impressive there, but the running game, down a couple of tackles in that game, and they still just absolutely bulldozed that front defense of Pittsburgh. The most rushing yards in Heinz Field or Zurich Stadium, whatever it is now. The fact that Pittsburgh allowed over 250 yards on the ground, boy, that's not the same old Pittsburgh defense, is it, Donnie?
No, it's certainly not. And how about this? The Denver Broncos, 27-26 over the Washington Commanders. Boy, if you had the under, that stinks. Boy, if you had Denver multiple times this game to cover that spread, that stinks as well. You get to overtime, you get the ball first, you score a touchdown. Like, yes! I have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Just stopped the other team, and they couldn't stop the other team. But Denver, the cardiac kids, I don't know if it's good or bad. Every game is close, good team or bad team, but they seem to keep coming up with victories. Their 10th of the season, Joe.
Yeah, and kudos. I mean, it's you got to win the games. Not impressive at all. And once again, there is a trend here. Denver on the road. My goodness, it is not nearly as easy as it is or appears to be when they are playing in Denver. So that is something, maybe of all the teams, Donnie, in both the AFC and NFC, that home field advantage would work really well in their favor. Denver appears to be a team that needs that more than anybody else.
Shedeur Sanders going to remain the starting quarterback from the Browns despite having a 16 QBR yesterday in an embarrassing loss, 26-8. And by the way, whoever San Francisco made a deal with to play the most bum squad schedule in the history of the NFL, congratulations to them. They beat another bum squad yesterday, 26-8, in the windy conditions, which just stayed under the total.
Listen, I mean, they paid their dues last year, right? They lost everybody to injuries. I think they won 2 or 3 games. And, well, you get rewarded with a, easy schedule this year. And then they had to overcome a ton of injuries to start the season as well.
Yeah.
And they are continuing to roll. Just keep winning, and then anything can happen. That's what you have when you have a very well-coached team.
Cooper Flagg, youngest player in NBA history to score 35-plus points here. Turns out, Joe, he just might not be a bust at this point, huh?
Really starting to come into his own. I mean, it was rough sledding early on, but now, boy, oh boy, now you're starting to understand what Cooper Flagg and all the hype was all about, because he's really starting to roll. And by the way, that team is not good, but he's very good.
Do you remember, Joe, back in the day where it's like, hey, you know what? We'll draft Luka and then we'll trade Luka for Trae Young. I think Luka was the better draft choice at that point right there. But Trae Young, he's playing basketball, just not for a couple weeks. He's out, knee injury.
Yeah, shocker. And listen, I mean, they've had a Trae Young problem for a while in Atlanta. And it's quite obvious that, well, this is a pretty good team without him. They play better. They play better defense. Jalen Johnson is just an absolute monster. It's maybe time to hit the trade market and see what you can get for Trae Young here, Atlanta.
Lionel Messi will face Vancouver in the MLS Championship. Was he actually thinking of sitting out? Like, is that actually big news, or just like Messi and Miami is playing Vancouver? Like, am I trying to read into this too much?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, listen, when you're 50 years old like this, you got to question, well, it feels like he might as well have been around a million years, but kudos to Miami FC. Get it done.
By the way, how tall is Messi? Like, you figured he'd be like 6'2", but man, that guy's a little guy out there in the streets, man. We'll be right back. More NFL talk next.
When LeBron James decides he's retiring, it is coming with trumpets blaring, Adam Silver by his side, and he is going on a state-by-state, coast-to-coast tour so that everyone can acknowledge how great he was and give him a parting gift and thank him for his amazing contributions to the NBA.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The future of the prediction markets, I think, at least for now, may be in the hands of the federal courts. But the good news for those who support prediction markets is that these court battles may last for another 2 to 3 years before we get clarity around the law. And nominee Seelig was handpicked by Donald Trump, not because he was neutral on prediction markets, but because he would do nothing to slow it down.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
There's some points of the show, Joe, you got to do things you're uncomfortable with, right? Like, you don't want to ever put somebody in a bad spot, but when you have to talk about things and being optimistic and you talk football, Black Friday football, one host is an Eagles fan, and I look forward to that football game until I turned it on and watched the absolute butt kicking that Chicago gave the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, you might say that final score 24-15, like, yeah, it was easy. The Eagles actually had this game tied up and missed an extra point. The Eagles then intercepted Caleb Williams, looked like they're going to take full control of this game, only to fumble on a tush push. Jalen Hurts finished with 230 and 2 touchdowns. Ooh, that was good. No, it wasn't. He wasn't good in that game, and neither were the Philadelphia Eagles because why, Joe? 47 carries for 281 yards. That's 6 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns scored. If we focus just on the running backs, Joe, they had 40 combined carries between Monangai and Swift for 255 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ben Johnson put on a display that goes, you know what? Yeah, it's windy. Yeah, we're running the football. You're a bend but don't break defense. We're going to break you with our running game. And they absolutely did that.
Yeah, no, they did, Donnie. They won in the trenches, which is something that, certainly Eagles backers didn't see happening. But the writing's kind of been on the wall. When you are that inept and inconsistent and you are leading the league in 3 and outs, Donnie, you know what happens to your defense? Well, they're out on the field way too much. And, that's exactly what happened here. They just could not get off the field, and Philadelphia could not get any momentum going. Time of possession, a problem. Moving the chains, a problem. Far too many 3 and outs, a problem. And, at what point, Donnie, do we start looking at this Eagles team and go, this is only, if we don't figure this thing out offensively, this defense is going to continue to get broken down as the season progresses here.
There's a way they have to sort of make this change, Joe. Because again, like I watch this team every week, local radio, I hear it all, but there are not many similarities to last year's offense compared to this year's offense. You go, wait a second, Donnie, that offense is exactly the same. Look at the personnel. The play caller is gone, but also what used to happen last year, hand the football to Saquon Barkley and that offensive line would road great, which means those safeties and linebackers, Joe, are cheating down to stop the run. Play action pass, 2 Ferraris at wide receiver running wild. Everything has been working. If you're handing the football off in Philadelphia and gaining 1 to 2 yards, nobody respects it. And if you're not blocking, nobody respects the passing game, no matter how stagnant it is. But I do get a kick out of this. Like the Eagles offense is struggling. Do you know who's sitting at home like, man, I never want to leave Philadelphia now? It's A.J. Brown. Because the past couple weeks, they feed him the football. He's producing 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the one thing you love about A.J. Brown, throw it up to him one-on-one coverage. The dude is a monster, and he will come down with it just like he had that touchdown catch. But the offense is broken, Joe, and you know where it starts, on the offensive line. Let me ask you this question. You watched the football game yesterday with a football team on the road against a quality defense without their 2 top tackles. They ran the ball 50-plus times and dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what you're supposed to do with the Eagles. 3 top linebackers down for the Chicago Bears defense. You should be force-feeding it. They ran it 17 times. Why? Because they couldn't get Chicago off the field because they ran it with actual success. That's the issue with the Eagles. It's just not working up front.
No, it's not, Donnie. And I don't know how they can correct that either. And, they've clearly won. And that's the problem, because they've clearly won enough games and they've done enough and got away with this, masking it and winning some games they probably shouldn't have, that they're in a good position still to make the playoffs. But okay, you better figure this out at some particular point. And to your call, Donnie, I think the offensive play calling might be an issue. There are a lot of issues offensively that are going to drag down that quality defense, and I think that's the shame of it all here.
Now, it is, because the Eagles have a high-priced offense that is struggling. That can't happen.
Yep.
Usually it's like, hey, the defense gets all the money. They play great defense. We have nothing on offense. You have a Super Bowl MVP at quarterback, 2 dominant wide receivers, what you thought was one of the better offensive line in football. Yes, Lane Johnson is there. No excuse. No excuse to be this bad here, and that's the fact at this point. So you take a look at the NFC odds. The Rams at plus 240. They just got beat by Carolina on the road. Followed by the Seahawks, Eagles, Packers, Lions, and 49ers. So as much as I am down on the Philadelphia Eagles, this is a wide open NFL race to win a championship this year, Joe, particularly in the NFC.
Yeah, it really, really is. And of course, I would caution folks that recency bias, do not let it, it's a real thing, but don't let it creep in. The Rams losing yesterday to Carolina doesn't change the fact of how dangerous they are or how good this team is, okay? It's the NFL. It's going to happen here. But I do think that that loss aside, Yeah, every one of these teams, Donnie, has its warts. And the only question is how many teams can mask it long enough where it doesn't become a problem or they can figure it out.
By the way, rain was not expected all that much in Charlotte yesterday. It came down at the half, and that game changed on a head where, the Panthers just got more physical than the Rams. They just couldn't make enough plays, and they made that strip sack fumble at the end of the game to sort of clinch that game. Kudos. They were the better football team with a chance now to win the NFC South. The Broncos last night on Sunday Night Football, they waited till overtime to get another comeback victory, 27-26 in this game. Back and forth they went. Bo Nix, 321 and 1 touchdown here. Harvey added 2 touchdowns on the ground. Mariota, Joe, 294 against that vaunted defense and 2 touchdowns just wasn't good enough. Why? Came down to a 2-point conversion that Denver stopped and got the victory in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Coach Payton said it great last night. He's like, no, we didn't, escape with a win. We won the game. That's what it was. Well, okay. I mean, tomato there, Coach. You can't keep playing these kinds of heartache games on the road and winning by 2 or 3 points against bad teams and expect everyone to buy in. That's going to come due at some point here, Donnie.
But, I watched the Denver Broncos play, and I really want to believe in them because, Bill Parcells, you are what your record says. You are. They're 10-2, and they keep coming back. But it just feels like you're going to get that clunker game in the playoffs. That's why you couldn't go with Bo Nix at this point right now. They're winning football games. I give them a lot of credit, but it's still up in the air whether or not they are truly elite. Donnie, you idiot. They're 10-2. They're elite. I get it, Joe. But don't you have that vision of, it seems like we're teetering right now with the Broncos?
Yeah, we are, Donnie, and that loss is coming, and it's likely going to be against a worse team.
Oh, boy, the Kalshi markets are up next. Where are we putting our money down? Let's see. Close to $1 million in volume being traded right now on the Offensive Player of the Year. If you did put $100 down on Jonathan Taylor, that would pay back $143, so a 43% increase on your money that you had. There are a lot of long shots in here, but it doesn't feel like those would be good bets. Hey, I'm going to put it on Justin Herbert. Well, yeah, if Justin Herbert wins it, Joe, a $100 wager would pay back $10,000. They even have a market for if you want to bet Malik Neighbors.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
What are those things called?
A shooting star.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that one. It just burns up quick. And you love it while you can see it, and bing, it's gone in the blink of an eye.
Right.
That's my fear for Cam Scatterville.
Yeah, and that's not a big deal, but I will say it's weird, and it seems like he really enjoys that attention, which is all fine because he's a young guy.
Yeah.
But possibly dangerous in a city like New York.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The play is Our Fam. You don't know about Our Fam? Go look her up on social media. Go look at YouTube. 19-year-old from Spain, 6'6", block shots, runs the floor, rebounds, post up, inside, outside, pop the corn, serve the beer, and it can clean up the mess when you're done eating your meal. This lady is absolutely fantastic.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi markets, let's have some fun here. Where are you putting your money on? By the way, on Saturday, there's still an option for Lane Kiffin going to LSU, Joe. If you put $100 down, it paid you back $24 on that 100. Oh, that's a stupid thing to do. No, it wasn't. You made 24% of your money back in a matter of hours if you just Lane Kiffin was actually leaving for LSU and not staying at Ole Miss. So we take a look now, Joe, at the Coach of the Year winner for professional football, which is the NFL. The leader by a long margin right now is Vrabel of the New England Patriots at a 61% chance. Ben Johnson coming in number 2 live. He's gaining some steam at 26%, and I completely agree with that. Now you see Mike McDonald and Stefanski and Callahan and Cohen behind him, but it seems like Vrabel is the favorite, but I don't know if he should be the favorite by that wide of margin, because to me, Joe, if let's just say Ben Johnson and the Bears win that NFC North, I think it means more than the Patriots winning their division. Am I wrong here?
Well, I mean, both would require. Well, I think the AFC. I mean, it's been so dominant by the Bills, and the Bills are still a favorite to win the Super Bowl anyway. So it would be something else for them to be able to take it. But Donnie, is it ironic that I think both of those two teams are maybe some of the most overrated in the NFL right now, with Chicago and New England? It feels like regression is coming here for both of them. So my question would be, is there anybody else below? Because once these guys lose games, and we start to go, who is it? Donnie, who's just behind those guys that we can jump in on a ridiculous price?
I'm telling you, you might not like this, and a lot of people out there. Dave Canales is at 2%. So his price point is $100, pays back $2,500. Oh, what do you mean by that? I'm telling you, if they can win that division, and Joe brings up a point here, we're not saying it's going to happen, and that's why this is a long shot. Is there a chance that the Buffalo Bills just steamroll the rest of the way and the Patriots falter a little bit? Is there a chance that the Packers end up being better overall than the Bears? Because you lose a lot of steam on Vrabel and Johnson if they don't win the division, and Canales comes out of nowhere and wins his division, Joe. How about that? Think about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, who's done more with less here?
Yeah.
I mean, it's come on. I mean, Ben Johnson overtook a team that had payroll up the yin, went out and got all sorts of pieces and wide receivers and trade and everything else. I mean, come on here. Who's done the most with less? And I got news for you. If the Cowboys run the table, guess who also should be in the conversation here as well?
Shoddy. A little shoddy action there on the side here. How about in the conversation this weekend, two teams that will be playing in the college football playoff, it seems, regardless of if they lose, which would drop Alabama to 3 losses. I'm telling you, don't make any sense of it. College football doesn't make sense. But Georgia, a 61% chance here to win the SEC championship this weekend. $100 wager would pay back $167. So if you say, hey, look, that's 67% money on my return if Georgia wins it. The question is, Joe, do you think Georgia wins it here? I actually do.
I mean, it's going to be one of those coin flip games. And, shocking that it comes down to Georgia and Alabama once again, right? I mean, what a shock. So we've already seen this, right? And we saw how this worked out the first go around. The question is, have they learned anything, and can they bounce back and get the win here? Kalen DeBoer and company. To me, it's a coin flip game, Donnie. I would take the value and take the one with the higher odds, because they have just as good a chance of winning.
I'll tell you one thing, but you take a look at it and you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year, I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like things are not the same. The SEC will be rocking in Atlanta, and the ACC is going to be giving away tickets to local schools just so somebody can actually sit in the stands for a meaningless football game that they are going to play here, which then leads us, Joe, to the number 1 overall pick, which we're going to take a look at some of these teams that should be tanking on their way out. It's Tennessee again. And by the way, I had a team total yesterday on the Jags, over 23.5 points. They got the 25 early in the third quarter. That's all they needed. I don't know what the deal is with Tennessee. Do they do this on purpose to say we have no idea what offense is even called, even though we have the number 1 overall pick from last year? They are awful, Joe, and they should get the number 1 pick.
Had they managed just 3 points is hilarious yesterday there. And I don't see how they're winning another game here, Donnie. I really don't. I think it's theirs to lose.
Their offense is just slow motion, and I don't even think it's Cam Ward's fault. My goodness, man. We'll be back. Close to $1 million in volume being traded right now in the Offensive Player of the Year. If you did put $100 down on Jonathan Taylor, that would pay back $143, so a 43% increase on your money that you had. There are a lot of long shots in here, but it doesn't feel like those would be good bets. Like, hey, I'm going to put it on Justin Herbert. Well, yeah, if Justin Herbert wins it, Joe, a $100 wager would pay back $10,000. They even have a market for if you want to bet Malik Neighbors.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
What are those things called?
A shooting star.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that one. Like, it just burns up quick. And you love it while you can see it, and bing, it's gone in the blink of an eye.
Right.
That's my fear for Cam Scatterby.
Yeah, and that's not a big deal, but I will say it's weird, and it seems like he really enjoys that attention, which is all fine because he's a young guy, but possibly dangerous in a city like New York.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The play is our fam. You don't know about our fam? Go look her up on social media. Go look at YouTube. 19-year-old from Spain, 6'6", block shots, runs the floor, rebounds, post up, inside, outside, pop the corn, serve the beer, and it can clean up the mess when you're done eating your meal. This lady is absolutely fantastic.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Boy, what to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers, huh? This Monday morning armchair quarterback we love to play. And at the break yesterday, Joe Ranieri, we saw a 7-3 lead for the Pittsburgh Steelers, playing exactly the way they wanted to. Slow the football game down, play good defense. We don't think Buffalo's passing game is good enough for us to win. Then the game changed with a lightning bolt. Strip sack fumble of Aaron Rodgers. Into the end zone you go. 10-7 lead for the Buffalo Bills, and they never looked back. 23-0 was the second half tally in the favor of the Buffalo Bills in a 26-7 victory. 15 of 23 for $123 for Josh Allen and 1 touchdown. That wasn't the marquee. It was James Cook, who toted the rock 32 times for 144 yards. Sweet Baby Ray, 9 carries for 62 yards. Josh Allen, 8 for 38. All in all, Joe, 51 carries for 249 and a touchdown. They absolutely bullied Pittsburgh in their own building, and now the Steelers sit back at a 6-6 record, and we're starting to question them even more.
Yeah, well, and you should, right? I mean, because the way they got bullied, this Steelers team, especially the second half, I mean, 249 yards on the ground is what that Pittsburgh defense had given up, the most since they opened this stadium in 2001. So, very much that is the version of Buffalo we know, Donnie, that makes them very dangerous in December and January, right? That's how you win playoff games. The conditions weren't great. They can go on the road. They can play in Buffalo. All of that, all of what you saw without their 2 starting tackles is why you can't stick a fork in the Buffalo Bills just yet. But what we saw from Pittsburgh and a 41-year-old quarterback, bloodied, they can't run the ball, they can't pass the ball down the field. It's not looking good for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, remember this also. Like, they got DK Metcalf. Damn, DK and George Pickens. They go, oh, yeah, well, Pickens isn't part of the picture anymore. Let's move on. That is a major cog that is missing from that offense. An extra weapon at the wide receiver position. But here's Mike Tomlin talking about the loss.
You know, not a lot needs to be said, man. That's an awful performance by us. But it's us. We didn't do a lot well tonight, obviously. We didn't possess the ball or maintain ball security on offense. We were highly penalized. We allowed those guys to run the ball. Didn't play 60 minutes of action, didn't play complimentary football. And so we got to absorb that result. You know, we're certainly not going to feel sorry for ourselves. That's this business we're in.
You have a couple of big splash plays against you early in the third quarter, still a lot of game ahead. Do you feel like you weren't able to find an emotional response to that in addition to the on-the-field stuff?
Forget the emotional response, man. We didn't produce plays, you know. We didn't produce enough plays to put the fire out. You know, that's very secondary as we sit here tonight, man. We had a poor performance, and that's where our energy is and should be in terms of the analysis of this. All right?
Got to get back to the tape there in Pittsburgh. Can it get better, Joe? Because, again, we talked about the Eagles. They're just broken on offense. I don't know how it gets better or if it's even possible it can get better.
I don't think it can. Where's it going to get better? I mean, they are what they are, right? They are still scratching ahead trying to figure out a quarterback situation there. Now you got a guy with a broken wrist who can't get hit. And it's just bad, man. There's nothing good. And as crazy as that is, Donnie, they are still very much in the thick of the AFC North race. I don't get it. Just is that mediocrity? Is that parity? I don't know what that is, but that whole division is an absolute mess.
We were crowning the Los Angeles Rams as the best team in the NFC, and away they go into the playoffs before they played the Carolina Panthers. And the Panthers absolutely rose up and took that game. A couple key fourth down plays late in that ball game. One of them was the Ted McMillan on a 43-yard touchdown catch. The Rams looked like they were coming back at least to tie, but a strip sack fumble of Matthew Stafford ended that game 31-28. The Carolina Panthers at 7-6 in the thick of the race now in the NFC South.
Yeah, kind of crazy, right? I mean, listen, most improved team to say the least, and don't look now, but all of a sudden, Young looks like he looks like a legit franchise quarterback, doesn't he? He looks like the game is slowed down. We started to see shades of this last year. This is why you go and hire Dave Canales, because listen, you put an awful lot into drafting him as your franchise quarterback, and boy, you just had the wrong coaches there. When you land the right coach, anything is possible. And all those injuries on defense and offense, Donnie, and they still took the best team in the NFC and dismantled them there yesterday at home.
Welcome back, Chuba Hubbard. 17 carries, 83 yards yesterday to complement Rico Dowdle's 18 for 58. They ran for 164 yards and won that game late. Even though Puka Nacua had an unbelievable catch earlier in that game, which did lead to a rushing touchdown, just not enough for a victory there. The Rams could have been at 10 wins. Now they drop back to 9-3 in a feisty NFC West here. Let's keep moving down the list as we go. The Texans went in to play the Colts. I like the Texans in this game getting the points, not because I like C.J. Stroud coming back or that defense is really nasty, but I heard Daniel Jones had a broken leg. And if you bet on the Colts yesterday with a quarterback with a broken leg, I guess you got the results you asked for. A loss for the Colts and another win for Houston, and that defense just continues to churn and burn out there.
Well, and again, it wasn't Danny Dimes' fault, and it wasn't the offense's fault. The defense, once they lost now Sauce Gardner, it looks like, for quite a while, they couldn't cover Nico Collins. He was wide open play after play after play. All of a sudden, that defense that they pushed all in to try and get up to par here wasn't good enough at home to be able to get it done against a very mediocre offense that made them look bad. That was a bad loss, but it wasn't on Danny Dimes the reason they lost there. They got to figure some other things out, namely, don't tight the ball to a tight end who never handles the ball and expect him not to fumble it at the goal line. Just saying.
Bucky Irvin came back over the weekend here to lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a victory to try to stay just ahead of those Carolina Panthers in a 20-17 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's been game. They got the football back late in that game, but just weren't able to do anything, turned it over on downs, and the Bucs won the game, but the Cardinals did cover. Jacoby Brissett, another 40 passing attempts, over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, just wasn't enough in this game. And Baker Mayfield, playing in this game, was absolutely sensational. Threw 28 times. Didn't look any worse for the wear there with that sprained AC joint in his non-throwing shoulder. Bucs pick up the victory to keep pace with Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's been a while since it feels like the Bucs actually won a game, but they ended up getting it done there at home. Big gutsy effort by Baker Mayfield, and I don't think we would expect anything less there, right? So, listen, there are more pieces on the way back for Tampa, including, guys, Mike Evans. Who will, and also Tristan Wirfs, and you've mentioned Bucky. There are, reinforcements are on the way for Tampa, and maybe just at the right time.
Yeah, Herbert broke. I don't think I think it's his hand or his wrist is going to get some surgery. I don't know if he's going to miss any time, but that was a 31-14 victory over the Raiders, which can't get any lower. That team stinks out loud. Can you imagine drafting a guy top 6 in the NFL to be your running back and he gets like 30 yards every single week? Nothing works outside of Brock Bowers. They get hammered yesterday, 31-14, but we did have spread drama late. This line cooking up in that double digits was 24-14. A late handoff punches it in for a 31-14 victory, which gave the Chargers the cover, and also the game, Joe, went over. Chargers win, but what's the cost here, Justin Herbert?
Yeah, a break in the back of the left hand is non-throwing hand, according to Jim Harbaugh. And he will have surgery today, but he returned back into that game all taped up, had the Michael Jackson glove on and all. And, they did more than enough to be able to beat the lowly Raiders. Let's be realistic here. That team is awful no matter who they fire. But listen, they'll get a pretty good draft pick out of it, I guess, when it's all said and done.
Next Monday night, the Philadelphia Eagles head out to L.A. We'll see how healthy Herbert is, or if he's playing, or is it Trey Lance time? By the way, Kamani Vidal, nothing short of spectacular this year. $126 on the ground in that victory. We got more football to talk about. Keep the foul here. It's the early line. We will be right back.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said
earlier.
He
got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Shedeur Sanders going to make another start. Shedeur Sanders threw another touchdown pass. Shedeur Sanders wasn't able to get the victory with the Browns because why? The 49ers are just the better football team. Way too many mistakes for the Cleveland Browns in a 26-8 final score. We saw Brock Purdy drop back 29 times for 168 and a touchdown. It's really all they needed. I like the ground game for the Browns. They just couldn't make enough plays. It was windy conditions, but Shedeur Sanders with another low QBR rating here. He's going to get the Titans next week. Hopefully that goes a little bit better, but an easy win and cover. By the way, I actually thought the Browns would cover the 5.5 just because of the conditions. They were right in that football game until they continuously made mistake after mistake, which you fair catch a football and drop it inside your 10, 15-yard line. Yeah, you're not going to come away with too many victories, and neither did the Browns yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, to expect the Browns defense to keep winning games for them, stop. You know, they're limited, especially against on the other side of the field when there's actually a legit coach that can actually scheme against what you guys do really, really well. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did yesterday. Too many weapons, healthy again offensively for this 49ers team. And they will been there and done it. It's not like they're not used to bad weather conditions. Shedeur Sanders, however, yeah, that was can't push the ball down the field, can't stop making the mistakes when the game's on the line. And it felt like Robert Saleh had a game plan to confuse the young quarterback right from the get-go here, and that was the problem. Just too much experience, I think, with the 49ers, and it showed in that game in a big way.
I wonder when Saleh gets another chance at a head coaching job. Probably sooner than later at this point. It's like, hey, it didn't work out with the Jets because nothing works out with the Jets. You go right back to being a coordinator. Everybody loves you. He's going to be a head coach sooner than later once again. Here's Shelby Harris talking about Juwan Jennings here, which is kind of funny. Listen in.
He's a hoe, and I want that known. Like, I see why he got punched in the nuts because that's some, like, he says some things that you should not say to another man ever. But, like, I don't respect it because you say that, then run behind your O-line. That's some real soft and I want that known. I see exactly why they punched the nuts. I'm surprised nobody punched him in the jaw yet.
That's great.
There you go. Look, I'm telling you right now, on a football field, it's so much different because we as the fans, there are helmets on. You can't really see them jawing with each other like you can in like the NBA. I can only imagine the trash talk that goes behind because we see things like, you can't throw a punch at that guy. What are you doing? I'm telling you, man, the stuff that gets probably said for 60 straight minutes eventually gets on your nerves. You fire back here. And there you go. Somebody mad at Jennings.
I love it, Donnie, because that makes total sense to me, right? Like it's you got it. I just want it to be known. I just like put it on the record. Absolutely priceless. Get it on the record that he talks more smack than anybody and then hides behind the offensive line. Absolutely outstanding sound clip. As a matter of fact, we need to clip that and use that on this show more often.
Exactly. He's a hoe. Wants everybody to know about it there. There you go. Put the statement out there, and away you go at this point. Trevor Lawrence, 16-27 on Sunday, 229, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, exactly what they needed. They barely even needed to run the football yesterday, Joe. 27 carries for 70 yards because why? It was apparent after the first quarter the Titans were not going to be able to move the football at all. 25-3 final, which saw the Jaguars take that 25 points early in the third quarter and go, let's just run this clock out. And sometimes you want to talk about the Jaguars. They're 8-4 and where they stand in the AFC picture. But I just want to look at the Titans. 1-11 overall, 0-7 at home. If you're a fan, like there's nothing to even watch on Sundays that would get you excited to watch a Tennessee game. You have the number 1 overall draft pick in Cam Ward, and it looks like he's just out there in a Yugo driving around. 38 pass attempts, which is good for 3.7 yards per completion or per attempt. I don't know what they do on offense, but it ain't much.
No, there is Tennessee. Listen, clearly play out the string. Unlike, Tennessee gets it. No reason for us to win any more games here. Minnesota gets it. No reason for us to win any more games here. The Jets don't get it because they're still out there trying to win games. But kudos to Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, who now I still think they have 2 games left against Indy as well. So just like that, the Jags find themselves in a pretty good spot here. I don't know who they're going to beat, but they're in a pretty good spot here to be able to make a run at the postseason.
Man, just lowly Tennessee at this point right now. But by the way, next week, those Tennessee Titans are going to take on the Cleveland Browns in a battle of who we might have thought would be the number 1 and number 2 quarterback last year. Well, the number 1 quarterback was Cam Ward. The number 55 quarterback, let's just say, was Shedeur Sanders. But next week, You want to talk about some divisional matchups to get excited about, Joe? How about the Bears and the Packers for first place in the NFC North? How about the Steelers and the Ravens for first place in the AFC North? How about the Colts and the Jaguars for first place in the NFC South? And also has that Thursday night football game with the Cowboys and Lions and the Texans and the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. This Sunday, we looked at like, man, where are the good games at? This Sunday, you don't have to look far. Man, we got them across the board.
No, you do. It's absolutely huge on Sunday for us. So I am looking very forward to those games because, boy, I tell you, a lot of dogs were barking this week, Donnie. It's going to be interesting to see if that trend continues into Week 14.
Now, again, we're not going to get into the handicaps this early, Joe, but I see Washington taking on Minnesota next week. Like maybe Daniels comes back. It's a 1-point favorite for Washington right now. Did anybody watch Minnesota? Like, is Brosmer, because I haven't followed up too much, is Brosmer going to get the start again? Or just going to throw JJ back out there, and say, McCarthy, win us a game. Like, that game is hilarious to try to handicap. We got some poppers next week.
I can't even believe they're only a 1-point favorite. Like, what in the world is Minnesota going to do offensively? I mean, it was clear that kid had absolutely no business being under center in an NFL game. And yet, I don't know what choice they have, Donnie, right? They did that for a reason. And I got to think that maybe that reason is, we're not going to win any more football games this year.
No,
period.
No, certainly not. And I'll tell you who's not going to win any more football games. Like Tennessee goes to Cleveland next week, Joe. We have a 33.5 as a total with some outlets moving to 33 even, something we never see. But I ask you this question. Can Tennessee, it's not this price, but I'm going to tell you, 6.5 is the total for Tennessee. Where are you going with that, over or under?
I am, I would definitely go under across the board. And I would also play the prop that this game will end in a tie.
It's like we have some of the best next week, Joe.
3-3.
Some of the worst of the worst. That's the way we get down in the early line. On a Monday, we're going to close it out in style next.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I
He
said earlier.
got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Did you have fun today on the early line? We certainly hope you did. Because why? Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside, armchair quarterback on a Monday. So much to go over. We weren't even here on Thursday or Friday, Saturday or Sunday, but enough to squeeze in all that information to get you ready for tonight's information on the Monday Night Football game. And more importantly, what's going to happen this week in the college football playoff. Tomorrow is a big day for the college football playoff. Because why? We're going to get to see that stupid TV show that tell us everything we don't actually know but technically knew already as the way it plays out to who's going to make the college football playoff. But that's here and there. What we like to do now in the part of the show is say, Joe and Donnie have talked enough. Let's hear from the people. Here's our favorite public poll. If you haven't done yet, head over to X. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, whatever you want to do on X, and find us at SportsGrid, because we ask questions Monday through Friday for the early line, and we want to know what you think about a certain topic or a question. Today's topic, simple. It's Monday Night Football. What are you betting on tonight in Giants versus the Patriots on Monday Night Football? 4 choices, over, under, Giants or Patriots with the spread. If we take a look now, Joe, the Giants getting the bulk right now at plus 7.5 at 40% from the public. The low man on the total poll is the over at 46%. Are we fading the public, rolling with the public, and which way did you go, Joe?
Yeah, I got to tell you, the public, as far as the marketplace, the Patriots have become that trendy team right now, right, where they can do no wrong. Where that's it. They're just, no matter what it is, they're going to steamroll teams, and that's it. Well, didn't exactly steamroll Cincinnati and didn't get the cover here, but now they're home, and everyone just assumes, like, somehow going from Jameis Winston to Jackson Dart is a downgrade here. I mean, stop it. I think this game is going to be sneaky, and I would not be shocked if the Giants actually pull out the upset win here, just to go along and cap off a Week 13 that has seen multiple outright dogs win the game, and do it pretty convincingly, by the way.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. And again, cool and crisp in New England, but no weather concerns because you're not going to have a high winds. You're not going to have precipitation, so it should be a clean slate. We'll see what Drake May does under center in this game. The one thing we like about the Giants, they can get a pass rush going. If it's not there, the New England Patriots will move the football, but also the question marks on what are we actually getting out of Jackson Dart. We loved what we saw out of Jameis, but now Dart comes back in. We'll see if he runs, see how effective he is, and away we go into that game. But now's the time, Joe. We like to leave the people with some cash here. Bye on the way. Football tonight, basketball tonight, hockey tonight. Joe Ranieri, where are we head for our best bet for you?
I'm going to go to this Monday Night Football game, Donnie, and I am going to take a flyer on the over 46.5 points. And the over has actually been a pretty good play here with the Giants recently, right? 6 of the last 8 games they have played have gone over. And like I said, the idea that going to Jackson Dart is somehow a downgrade from Jameis Winston, you're crazy. He's much more dynamic than Jameis ever was. And it's not like the team wasn't scoring points when he was in there. So I think Jackson Dart gets it going here. I think they'll score. They'll do their part, Donnie, and score enough to be able to help New England, who will also, I think, have some success in this game, putting up points at home. I don't think this is going to be a rock fight. I think we're going to get some points here, and I think 46.5 with no weather concerns is a tad low for me. I think we're much closer to 50 than we are 45.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out tonight. An entertaining game it should be tonight. We'll see where it goes here. I'm going to go over to the NBA, and I'm going to take a game, Joe, that nobody should want to take here. Same thing when I won last Wednesday night by the half of a hook, because I like to take public fade spots here. Last night, did you know the Houston Rockets were on the road to take on the Jazz? Houston Rockets won that game 129-101. Hey, rematch tonight. Same spot, same arena in elevation. The line tonight, 12.5 points. The public, 75% of the tickets going towards the Houston Rockets. No movement as of just yet now. So you know who we're backing? The Utah Jazz at plus 12.5 at home. Sneaky, maybe get inside that total, but it's one of those, Joe, you got to hold your nose and just watch it play out. They got waxed last night. They're supposed to get waxed tonight, according to the public. I'm going to go against it. What do you think about that?
Well, everyone always bets against Utah, but sneakily, Donnie, they have been actually pretty good. You know where they're also very good? At home. So I think, yes, I'm with you there. Good call on the Utah Jazz.
Jazz it up, people. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow for Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside. The whole crew at the Early Line of the Sports Grid Network. Enjoy the rest of your day. Wake up with us tomorrow.